He bought her company to save her life. She thought he bought her soul. She trusted the wrong man, loved the wrong one, and fell for the only man powerful enough to destroy her or save her. In a world ruled by money, secrets, and ambition, love becomes the most dangerous deal of all. Thank you for coming back to my channel. Please subscribe, like, and comment the city you are watching from. The man who was never meant to love. They said power changed people, but power didn't change Alexander Blackwood. It only revealed him. The night he met Elara Monroe, the city glittered like it was trying too hard to impress him. Crystal chandeliers shimmered over champagne flutes, violin strings trembled under soft fingers, and the elite of New York moved in practiced elegance, laughing too loudly, smiling too carefully. Alexander stood apart. Not because he wanted to, because power always made space around itself. At 32, he was already a billionaire, young, ruthless, brilliant. The media called him the Golden Wolf. His enemies called him the Silent Killer. Women called him dangerous in the most delicious way. But tonight he was undercover. No bodyguards, no tailored suits worth more than most people's rent. Just 3T, a charcoal blazer, unbuttoned at the collar, and a glass of champagne he didn't intend to drink. That was when he saw her. She wasn't loud. She wasn't trying to be seen. And that was exactly why he saw her. Elara Monroe stood near the balcony doors, fingers curled around her glass like it was an anchor. Her red dress clung to her in a way that spoke of confidence, yet her eyes betrayed caution. Not fear, awareness. The kind that came from being disappointed too many times. She was beautiful in a way that felt real. Not manufactured, not polished to please. She looked like a woman who had learned how to survive in a world that kept asking for more than it gave. Alexander's gaze lingered longer than he meant it to. "Careful," a voice murmured beside him. "You're staring." He didn't look away. "I'm observing." His friend and business partner, Lucas, smirked. "That's how it always starts." Alexander ignored him. Across the room, Elara felt it, that familiar prickle between her shoulder blades. She turned and met his eyes. Something shifted. Not fireworks, an earthquake, the sugar baby misunderstanding. Elara had not come to the gala to find a man. She was there because her husband, soon-to-be ex-husband, needed her to play the perfect wife one last time. A show for investors, a lie wrapped in diamonds. Marcus Monroe was good at that, good at smiling for cameras while draining her company dry behind closed doors. She adjusted her necklace and took a steadying breath. One night, she told herself. Then you're free. That was when he approached her. "Do you always look like you're plotting an escape?" the stranger asked. His voice was calm, smooth, dangerously controlled. She arched a brow. "Only when I'm surrounded by people pretending to be something they're not." He smiled, not amused, interested. "Then we're in the same cage." She laughed despite herself. "You don't look trapped. Appearances lie." She studied him now, tall, broad shoulders, sharp jaw, eyes that watched instead of wandered. "So," she said, "what do you do?" His lips curved slightly. "I invest." That's vague. On purpose. She tilted her head. "Sugar baby vibes." He chuckled a low, warm sound. "Is that so?" "You have the face of someone who lets other people pay," she teased. "And you," he countered, "look like someone who's never needed anyone until she did." Her smile faltered. Before she could respond, Marcus appeared, already half-drunk on power and champagne. "Elara," he said, placing a possessive hand on her waist. "Who's your friend?" Alexander's gaze sharpened. "Alexander," he said smoothly, "just enjoying your wife's company." Something dark flickered in Marcus's eyes. Well, Marcus said, forcing a laugh, enjoy it while you can. She's expensive. Elara stiffened. Alexander's jaw tightened. He turned to her. I'm sorry. She shook her head. I'm used to it. But something in his eyes said he wasn't. And that was the moment everything changed. A dangerous curiosity. They met again and again. Always accidentally. Always briefly. At fundraisers, art shows, business dinners. Each time, conversation deepened. She told him she ran operations for a mid-sized tech firm. She didn't say it was hers, not yet. He told her he was between projects. He didn't say he owned half the skyline. They laughed more than they should have. And then one night, she asked him the question that would ruin everything. So, she said, swirling her wine, are you actually broke? He laughed. Why? Because if this is a sugar baby situation, I need to know the allowance. He studied her. Really studied her. And for the first time in his life, Alexander lied. Modestly comfortable, he said. She smirked. Figures they kissed that night. It wasn't desperate, it was deliberate, slow, exploratory, dangerous. And when she pulled away, breathless, she whispered, this is a mistake. He nodded. I know. Neither of them stopped. The truth comes for blood. 3 months later, Elara walked into her office and felt it instantly. Silence. Too clean. Too still. Her assistant stood pale. Miss Monroe, there's been a takeover. Her stomach dropped. What? Blackwood Industries acquired majority shares overnight. The name hit her like a gunshot. Blackwood. Her phone buzzed. One message, AB. We need to talk. Her world tilted. She stormed into the boardroom an hour later, fury blazing, and there he was. Alexander Blackwood, not in casual charm, in a tailored suit that screamed authority, seated at the head of her table, owning everything. You, she whispered. He stood slowly. Elara, you bought my company. I saved it. You lied to me. I protected you. Her laugh was broken. You slept with me while planning to take my life apart. His voice dropped. I fell in love with you while trying to protect you from your husband. Her breath caught. Marcus's crimes spilled onto the screen: embezzlement, fraud laundering. Her knees weakened. You did this? I did it for you. Tears burned her eyes. You don't get to destroy my world and call it love. He stepped closer. Then let me rebuild it. She slapped him. The room went silent. Her voice trembled. You don't own me. His eyes darkened, not with anger, but something far more dangerous. Then why does it feel like you own me instead? When power becomes possession. Elara didn't sleep that night. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw his face calm, controlled, heartbreakingly sincere. The way his voice had cracked when he said, I did it for you. The way he hadn't flinched when she slapped him. She had wanted him to flinch, because then she could believe he was just another rich man playing God. But Alexander Blackwood didn't flinch, and that terrified her. The morning after the collapse. By morning, the world already knew. Headlines screamed, Blackwood acquires Monroe, tech in midnight takeover, CEO's wife caught in the crosshairs, her phone buzzed non-stop. Investors, journalists, friends pretending concern. And Marcus? Gone. His lawyers called instead. Elara, one of them said coldly, your husband has filed for divorce. He's also contesting your claim to the company. She laughed, a hollow sound. Of course he is. She arrived at the office. Security stopped her. I'm sorry, ma'am, the guard said apologetically. Orders from Mr. Blackwood, her chest tightened. She marched straight into the elevator and rode it to the top floor. Alexander was already waiting. You don't get to lock me out of my own company, she snapped. He stood slowly. It's not yours anymore. Her breath hitched. You really are that cruel." "No," he said quietly. "I'm that careful." She slammed her hands on his desk. "You could have told me I tried. You lied to my face. I protected you from what?" "Myself. From your husband," he snapped back. "From prison. From losing everything." Silence stretched. Then her voice broke. "You still should have trusted me." His jaw clenched. "I couldn't risk losing you." She stared at him. "So you decided to own me instead?" Something flickered in his eyes. "Is that what you think this is?" She didn't answer, because the truth was a part of her feared that it was. The contract. He slid a folder across the desk. "What's this?" she asked warily. "A choice." She opened it. A contract. Her name printed boldly at the top. "Chief Operating Officer," she whispered. Her eyes shot up. "You're giving me my company back?" "I'm giving you control," he said, "and independence." She scoffed. "With strings attached?" "One." She looked at him. "You stay." Her heart thundered. "As what?" she asked quietly. His voice dropped. "As my partner." Silence. "You think I'd agree to that after what you did?" "No," he said honestly. "I think you'll agree because you hate being powerless more than you hate me." Her breath caught. Damn him. He was right, she signed. The moment the pen left the paper, something invisible locked into place. A cage. Or a crown. She didn't know which yet. Living with the enemy. Alexander insisted she move into the penthouse. "For security," he said. "For control," she shot back. Still, she went. Because part of her wanted to see how deep the lie went. The penthouse was quiet. Too perfect. Cold marble, glass walls, city lights spilling in like stars. He gave her the guest room. "You'll be more comfortable." She watched him carefully. "You're not going to touch me?" His jaw tightened. "Not unless you ask." Her breath caught at the promise hidden in the restraint. That night, she lay awake listening to his footsteps on the other side of the wall. She hated that her body still remembered him. The cracks begin days turned into weeks. They worked together, argue, fought. Won battles, side by side. He respected her mind. She challenged his authority. And slowly something dangerous softened between them. One evening, after a brutal board meeting, she found him on the balcony, tie loosened, eyes tired. "You look human tonight," she said. He huffed a quiet laugh. "Don't tell anyone." She leaned beside him. The city pulsed beneath them. "Why me?" she asked softly. He didn't answer immediately. "When I met you," he said, "you didn't want anything from me. Not money, not power. You didn't even like me." She smiled faintly. "Still don't." His lips curved. "You challenged me. And I don't get challenged." She swallowed. "So you bought my world." "No," he said, voice low. "I tried to save it and ended up burning it down." She turned to him, then their faces inches apart. "You're dangerous," she whispered. "So are you," the air thickened. For one terrible second she almost kissed him. Almost then she stepped back. "This doesn't change anything." Nodded, jaw tight, I know, but they both knew it already had. A ghost returns. 3 weeks later, Marcus resurfaced, and he wasn't alone. He walked into the boardroom with a smug smile and a woman on his arm. A woman who looked very pregnant. "Elara," Marcus said sweetly. "Meet fiancé." The room spun. "And before you ask," he added, "yes, the baby's mine." Elara's knees buckled. Alexander's hands slammed the table. "You lying bastard." "Oh, relax," Marcus smirked. "I came to negotiate." Elara found her voice. "Negotiate what?" He smiled wider. "My freedom. The cost of power." The room felt too small for the truth Marcus had just dropped. Elara's ears rang as if the walls themselves were screaming, "Pregnant." The word echoed, sharp and cruel. She stared at the woman beside him, young, pale, nervous. Her hand rested protectively over her stomach, eyes darting between the men like a frightened animal. "You brought her here?" Elara whispered. "To my boardroom," Marcus smirked. "Our boardroom. And yes, transparency is important." Alexander's jaw flexed, a muscle ticking dangerously. "Get out," Marcus chuckled. "Touchy. You always were, Alex." Elara's head snapped toward him. "You know each other." A beat too long passed. Marcus's smile widened. "Oh, sweetheart, we go way back." The air thickened. Alexander's voice dropped. "This meeting is over." "No," Elara said sharply. "It's just beginning." She turned to Marcus. "You said you came to negotiate." "I did." His eyes glinted. "I want immunity." Alexander stiffened. "You're insane." "Am I?" Marcus shrugged. "You exposed my crimes, froze my assets, humiliated me publicly. But I still have leverage." He slid a tablet across the table. Elara's breath caught. It was footage, security footage. Her in Alexander's penthouse, laughing, arguing, almost kissing. Almost. Her heart pounded. "You planted cameras," she whispered. Marcus grinned. "Not in his place. In yours. Before the takeover." Her stomach twisted. "I'll leak this," Meme continued calmly, "along with some carefully edited financials. The world will think you slept your way into power." Elara's vision blurred. Alexander lunged forward. "You touch her and I will bury you." O leaned back. You voice steel. "What do you want?" Phased. "I don't need to touch her. Public opinion will do it for me." Silence swallowed the room. Then Elara spoke her. Marcus smiled slowly. "I want my freedom, full immunity, and my shares back." Alexander laughed darkly. "You think I'll give you that?" Marcus shrugged. "Then I destroy her." Every muscle in Alexander's body went rigid. "No," Elara whispered. "You don't get to decide this." She turned to Alexander. "I'll handle it." "Elara, I said I will handle it." She faced Marcus again. "You'll get nothing." He raised a brow. "Brave." She stepped closer, her voice shaking but firm. "You're scared. That's why you're here, because without me you're nothing." He stiffened. "And you know what?" she continued. "Release the footage. I don't care anymore." Alexander's head snapped toward her. "Elara, I won't live hostage to your secrets," she said. "Do your worst, Silence." Then Marcus laughed long, loud, unhinged. "Ah," he said, "that's why I married you." He turned and walked out, the woman following shakily. The doors slammed. Elara's legs gave out. Alexander caught her before she hit the floor. The truth, beneath the truth, he carried her to his office and set her down gently. "You didn't mean that," he said. She stared at the floor. "I did. You were shaking. So were you." He exhaled sharply. "You don't understand what he's capable of." "I do," she whispered. "I lived with him." He knelt in front of her, his voice low. "Then let me protect you." She laughed bitterly. "You already did. Look how that turned out." A long silence stretched between them. Then he spoke quietly. "There's something you don't know." She looked up. "I didn't take over your company for power," he said. "I did it because he was planning to kill you." Her breath hitched. "What?" He was bleeding money. Desperate, angry. "You were worth more dead than alive." She shook her head. "You're lying." "I have proof." He pulled out a folder. Inside, messages, transactions, threats. Her heart pounded. "I couldn't go to the police without proof," he checked. "So I bought the company to get access. I stayed close to protect you." Tears spilled down her sin. "You let me think you were a monster." "I let you hate me," he said softly. "Because hate keeps you alive." Her chest tightened. "Why didn't you tell me?" Because you wouldn't have believed me. She covered her mouth. I destroyed you, she whispered. No, he said. You survived me. Their eyes locked. Something broke. She surged forward and kissed him. It wasn't gentle. It was desperate, shaking, hungry. He froze for half a second, then pulled her closer. The world fell away. Hands tangled. Breath collided. Pain and want fused into something raw and uncontrollable. She broke away first, trembling. This doesn't change anything, she whispered. His forehead rested against hers. I know, but neither of them believed it anymore. The calm before the war. The next morning, headlines exploded. Monroe heiress faces, scandal Blackwood linked to CEO's affair. Stock prices dipped. Investors panicked. The trap was closing. Elara stood at the window, watching the city stir. How bad is it? She asked. Alexander stood behind her. Bad, he admitted, but not fatal. She turned. What's your plan? A slow, dangerous smile curved his lips. We give Marcus exactly what he wants. Her eyes widened. You're serious? Yes. And then? Then, he said quietly, we take everything from him. Her pulse raced. You're playing a dangerous game. He met her gaze. So are you. Love, power, and the price of truth. The engagement announcement broke the internet. Blackwood to marry Monroe. A power couple reborn. The headlines screamed scandal and romance in equal measure. Elara stood in front of the mirror, staring at the diamond on her finger. It felt heavier than it looked. This is insane, she whispered. Alexander stood behind her, his reflection calm, but his eyes stormy. It's strategy, he said. Marcus thinks he's winning. We let him believe it. She turned to him. And after? He hesitated. After we see what survives. Her heart twisted. She wanted certainty. She wanted safety. But she had chosen fire. The engagement lie. Publicly, they were perfect, smiling, touching, laughing. The media ate it up. Behind closed doors, silence ruled. They slept in separate rooms again, not because the desire was gone, but because it was too dangerous. One night, Elara stood on the balcony, staring at the city lights when she felt it. A wave of dizziness. She gripped the railing. Alex, she called. He was there in seconds, catching her as ashes swayed. Hey, look at me. Her vision blurred. I think something's wrong. The truth no one expected. The hospital smelled like antiseptic and fear. Alexander paced as the doctor finally returned. Miss Monroe, the doctor said gently, you're pregnant. The room froze. Ela's breath caught. What Alexander's world tilted pregnant? The word echoed through him. How far along? He asked quietly. About 6 weeks. Elara's hands trembled. That's impossible. Her eyes flew to Alexander's. The timing. Oh, God. Silence swallowed them. She whispered. I didn't know. Alexander sat slowly beside her. Neither did I. Something shifted between them, fear, wonder, terror, hope all tangled together. This changes everything, she whispered. Yes, he said softly. It does. Marcus's last move. The news leaked 2 days later. Marcus struck back with everything he had. Documents, false witnesses, fabricated scandals. The media frenzy turned brutal. Elara Monroe manipulates billionaire lover with pregnancy plot. She broke down that night. I can't do this anymore, she sobbed. I'm tired of fighting. Alexander pulled her into his arms. You don't have to, he murmured. Not alone. He kissed her forehead. This ends now. The fall of a king. At the final board meeting, Marcus walked in smug and confident. He left in handcuffs. Alexander had played the long game. The evidence was airtight fraud, blackmail, attempted murder, illegal surveillance. When the judge read the charges, Marcus screamed her name. "You did this to me." Elara stood tall. "No," she said softly, "you did this to yourself." As he was taken away, his eyes met Alexander's full of hatred. Alexander didn't blink. The quiet, after the storm, months later. The world had moved on. The scandal faded. The noise died. Elara sat in the garden of their estate, sunlight warming her skin. A small bump curved beneath her dress. Alexander knelt in front of her, brushing his hand over it gently. "You okay?" he asked. She smiled softly. "I think so." He looked up at her, eyes full of something that no money could buy. "I never meant to fall in love with you," he said. She smiled sadly. "Neither did I." Silence stretched comfortable, real. "Do you regret it?" he asked. She shook her head. "No, because love isn't safe. It's brave." He leaned his forehead against hers. "I don't want to own you," he whispered. "I just want to walk beside you." Tears slipped down her cheeks. "Then walk with me," she said. He kissed her, slow, reverent, forever. 2 years later. A little girl with dark eyes and a mischievous smile ran through the garden. "Mommy! Daddy!" Elara laughed as Alexander scooped her up. The empire still stood. But power no longer ruled them, love did.